So welcome to another exploration into consciousness with the Earth Nouveau Hub. I'm hosting it here from good old Austria, from my parents' home. And today we have a topic called loyalty. And I just want to give a little bit of a background of how I came up with that program, because we had last week we talked about the galactic calendar, right? And I just revisited my galactic signature, which is the galactic the white crystal dog. And I've looked at that before, and it has never really hit me, other than like me saying, oh God, I'm not a dog, right? I'm a dog, I'm a cat lover, not a dog lover, right? And this time around, and I don't know if it's got anything to do because the new galactic year just started or something, or maybe because I looked at a different website. And there were 3 words. Contemplate these code words that invoke your key powers. And this is not about me, just to say, but what brought up my 3 key words are love, heart, and loyalty. Oh. And then I thought, loyalty? Are you joking? What? I'm not loyal. The first thing that came up was, oh, I'm not loyal. And I'm like, why loyalty? And I thought I was like sort of in my already galactic signature. And I realized that loyalty is one of those words, just like we've talked about many, many words. Love is the other one, of course, but we thrashed that one out before. But loyalty is actually something that is slightly misinterpreted, or can be misinterpreted, so much so that I have not even acknowledged myself as loyal. And as soon as I started looking at it, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm actually really loyal, right? But in a different sort of sense. So this is where we have this topic today. And I will read out the White Dog tribe afterwards, which is all about loyalty. But before, I want to actually just throw out the question and say, what does loyalty mean to you guys? How do you do it? And then we'll take it from there and see how we can reframe it and add on and expand on it a little bit. So the question, yeah, go.
So could I start it off then?
Yes, please.
If you're ready, unless you didn't finish.
No, I'm ready, darling. You go. You go.
Okay. So when I saw your post in Art Nouveau Hub, the first thing that jumped out and came out of my conscious thought was that the only thing that I am loyal to is that which is infinity. It exists everywhere, and therefore, as I become more aware of this connection, I realize that I am loyal to myself as infinity, that which is the reality of all things. And that's that came to me immediately. And so I had to write it down so I don't forget, because I will forget.
Fabulous.
So that's what we can kick it off with.
Well,
that's the first thing that jumped out at me.
Well, that's already taking it into the divine sort of loyalty, so you're obviously right there. You're right into looking at from that perspective. Fantastic. So let's do something. Let's do the rounds first and see what other people come up with. Let's hold that thought. And then we just combine it all together. But thanks, Lana. Yeah. What else comes up for people when we talk about how do you do loyalty? How have you done loyalty?
This was something. Is it synchronicity or convergence, or however you want to call it? I have lately been again having a lot of loyalty issues in my mind. And so I just looked it up. I looked up on the web star what it means. It is a quality. It's a quality of being loyal. You can be absolutely loyal, you can be blindly loyal, you can be divided in your loyalty. Loyal is also like the firm resistance to any temptation to desert or betray. Right? It also comes up that it is faithful to a person to whom faithfulness is due, like a husband or like your king or your count or whatever. And this is where it stated that it was firstly used as a word in 1531. Well, that is probably in the documentation where you found it. So it comes from the Latin legalis, and it's Old French, which means leal or leal, which means that, which then became loyal. So why am I going into the definition and the science? The science major in me was like, ah, it's because I always had a problem, probably like you, with the loyal, with the word of loyal, because I thought it always being diminishing, because you are faithful to something, and faithful sometimes is being put in the sense that you are, you're below, or you under somebody's spell, or you under somebody's orders, But actually, if I'm looking at it again, and all the words that are being used, it is the firm resistance to any temptation to desert or to betray, faithfulness that is due, something that an adherence that is owed, which means that you are making the choice to actually be that way. It's not that you have to be that way. Well, that is how it is for me, sometimes being put out there, that you have to be that way in a sense, So yeah, it's very interesting. So I'm not so much what I don't know in which way you're using the divine thing, but maybe more in the sacredness sense of things. I don't know, but that was just what came up for me.
Fabulous. Thank you, Sandrine. And I love that, because we have Lana kicking it off with infinity already, right? And then we have Sandrine kicking it off with how the majority of the population still views loyalty, and how I have viewed it as well. I viewed it as a limitation. So much so, it's almost that, dogs, they always want to be just, subservient to the owners, versus the cats who say, fuck off, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? That's what, like, I spoke to a friend of mine yesterday, and I said, this loyalty thing. And he said, oh my God, you are so loyal. I love you. And I'm like, what? So interesting how we don't see that, because of how the words are getting bastardized, right? And like when I looked it up, you said the word legal, Sandrine, there is this legitimacy, and legitimacy is the authenticity. So being loyal is part of being authentic, being loyal to your own truth, right? Being and that kind of thing. And when I started looking at that, I'm thinking, okay, well, now this is starting slightly more sense. It's just a different energy from, those people who know you come from the empowerment perspective, right? That's why empowerment, the way it is perceived, didn't go with loyalty. But now when I look at it from a love perspective, from a higher love perspective, then I see the loyalty very clearly now being committed to the higher mission, to the higher purpose, to the higher plan. There is a loyalty to the higher plan. And how? Through the authenticity. So that would be my sort of beginning of contribution. So, but let's go to the other three girls. Amy.
Yeah. So I did the same thing Sandrine did. I looked it up to see, because I like to look up what it means, and just to get my thoughts going. But I also thought of dogs that are loyal, and how, to me, loyalty is more instinctual. To me, I see dogs as more instinctual. You don't teach them to be loyal. They just are.
Mm-hmm.
So, and loyalty to me meant kind of like, it's like a commitment. I view it as like a marriage. I see it as equal. If I'm loyal to you, you're loyal to me. So I never saw it as something above me or someone above me. I always saw it as an equal loyalty between two, a husband and wife, or however you're married. But that's how I kind of see it. So I get kind of like, I saw it as a devotion. Loyalty can be devotion to So I had my loyalty to the Catholic Church, which loyalty can kind of take over you too, because too much loyalty, like I had too much loyalty to that. I lost myself in loyalty with that. So I kind of see it that way. And also, there was something else I wrote down here. Loyalty and honesty together. If you're loyal, are you honest? And if you're honest, are you loyal? I don't know.
That's an interesting one, because when I asked my crowd, I asked Emma, I said, so what when you talk about loyalty, what would loyalty be to you? And she immediately said, you don't lie. When you don't lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? But
It's
then
a
again,
character.
that's quite interesting as well, right? So that's the loyalty, actually sort of applied to honesty. But then again, is it loyalty or is it honesty? So, the energy is actually quite, like with love, everything is like, let's throw everything in one bag, right? But,
and if you're loyal, are you committed? Does that mean the same thing?
Well, okay, so let's look at this for 1 second here. Can you be
Mm-hmm.
loyal? And okay, now let's ask the question different. Can you be true to yourself, authentic, and still lie?
Yes.
Yeah, to yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And is that loyalty to yourself?
You're loyal to the lie. You're loyal to be lying all the time.
I would say, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh,
we
yeah.
can.
Yeah.
I would say on this question that it depends how awakened you are, how you understand your position in that situation and your position in general, in world, in your life. Because sometimes people say something and to other it looks like lie and very clear lie, but for those people it's sincerely, they just don't see it. They just on their level of understanding a moment.
Exactly.
It's in relation to what you guys last woke up, but I didn't hear what Lana said about loyalty. I missed that part. So my vision, if I may.
You hold on a sec. One second, Irina. Amy, are you finished with your?
Yeah, I have other stuff, but that's fine. Yeah.
Okay,
yep.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, Irina, cool.
Okay, my vision again coming to our double position in our existence. We are existing on higher level of who we are as oneness, as the beginning of creation, as creation, but at the same time we have life as human beings. So it depends again how you look at loyalty. And if you look from position of human being, it is our agreement. And as human beings, we actually agreed to forget that we gave only one promise to have experience coming into this universe. It's only one promise to God, to Creator, to us actually, to who we are as being, as center, as essence. But everything else, it's agreement. It's 100% free will universe. It can't be some promise that you have to carry on yourself forever. If something not working for you, you have to find a way how to make your negotiations, how to agree with someone with who you made your first agreement. This is my vision. So it's kind like, again, you mentioning 16th century, very interesting period in our history. Something big was happening in terms of making agreements and creating those, steady bonds for people not to go some particular ways what that people would feel, because it's Renaissance is coming and all that stuff, you know, freedom again from inside. But it wasn't, in my understanding, set up of situation yet for humanity to make that transition to other side from repeating again and again the same experience as we know it. So yes, this is my vision. One only promise to God, to us, to have experience. But everything else, it's your agreement, it's your negotiation. It's how you can make your way in your experience as human being. But inside of you, the more you are opening and you're remembering who you are, what we were playing, what our experiences were in this on earth and in universe, the more you will be true inside. And this is what will make you loyal even in your negotiation. It won't sound to you as how you guys said, it's deception, all that's in betrayal. It won't. The more you remember, you will come to realization and remembering that actually we are now in the end time. Actually, we have to make our step out from many things and just cancel them. Finally cancel them. We're done with that experience. So this would be real loyalty.
So
not stay in some connections, but coming out.
Yeah, you actually bringing quite a few things together here, because you've got the divine loyalty to the plan, the great plan. You call it, you know, your commitment to spirit, to God, to the source that you've come here to create, to karmically disentangle and all of that. And you find your authentic truth and to grow as an individual and all of that, versus the limitations of loyalty that we've been, you know,
Programmed to, yes, programmed to, agreed to have that kind of loyalty in our past.
Yeah.
But it's not loyalty today. It's on contrary, in my understanding.
Yeah. That's why we're talking about it, because there is that element there, you know, and this is why it's difficult to actually combine it with honesty, because when we talk about true authenticity and everyone has a different truth, where the honesty gets lost, because what's honest to me is not honest to another person, because, you know, somebody calls it a lie, for the other one it's a full-on truth. So loyalty and honesty, to couple that together is a bit of a it's not going to work, you know, it's not going to work. But anyway, it's a good one, because lots and lots of people do think it is part of it. Absolutely. Yeah. But before we carry on, I want to hear Alfredo's take on how do you do loyalty?
Yeah. So loyalty, you brought it up. I didn't want to attach to it too much, but I was like, loyalty, you know, I'll just see what comes up. And immediately the first thing coming to me is like, loyalty to what, you know, loyalty to what? That's like the first thing that came to me. And that's my way of perceiving it. And I think loyalty, it was a lot of things I was thinking about. And I thought, you know, to me, the dog is like the living embodiment of loyalty. I mean, regardless of what's going on, that dog is still going to come to you, still going to love you, whatever. The dog came up to me as loyal, you know, the embodiment, like animal totem, whatever.
Yeah.
And also, you know, go ahead.
No, you go.
Yeah, I had a few experiences recently, or I've been having some few experiences that make me think about loyalty in general, you know. And so yesterday you know, they've been craving about the Lucia light this, Lucia light that. And I was like, you know, I'll go do it, because I was going to do it a few years ago, but I put it on the back burner and I never did it. And I was like, you know, I'm going to go do it. You know, I went to go do it. The Lucia light broke the moment I got there. So I had to go back in the next week, which was yesterday. I went and I had the experience, but it was just like, I realized all my expectations, my inability to let go, like all it did for me was make me realize how much I can't let go. Because all I was doing was just like letting go of tension, like just going into deep relaxation. I was like, oh, I want my visions. I want to see all this stuff everybody else is seeing, and I wasn't seeing nothing. I was just seeing colors and a few shapes, and it just like, I don't know, it. And then he was trying to guide me through the experience, like, just do this, you know, you need to let go, you need to open your hands. And I was like, well, I had some truth to it. I also deep down, I felt like, you know, kind of depressed and upset because I didn't get the experience I wanted. But it made me realize like loyalty to the way I do things, because I know that deep down I can generate way more powerful experiences than the attachments I have to experiences I expect to have, you know? And it made me go back to loyalty to my way of doing things. It might not be, you know, the most optimal, pristine way, and I might make a lot of mistakes along the way, and I might, you know, be stubborn and set in my ways, but loyalty to my way, because I tend to lose myself trying to adopt other people's methods or ways or doing other things other people's way. But to me, it's just loyalty to my way of doing things at the end of the day. So loyalty to me above all else. And that's just general. And then loyal to what I'm experiencing and feeling, because I've also had mixed things about the light language, because I've been hearing weird information about it, like, oh, it does this, does that. But it's like loyalty to what I know feels right to me and enriches my life, instead of adopting and, you know, being loyal to someone else's perspective, or being over loyal to others, like over loyal like a dog, you know, just following them everywhere they go, doing what they say, you know, dog loyalty. But that's just my spiel on loyalty.
And that's a beautiful message. Thanks.
Being authentic and yeah.
Being loyal to your own truth, being authentic to your own truth, being committed to your own truth. And when I look at the White Dog tribe here, which I see you all being part of it, is the love comes in, the heart comes in, and the loyalty comes in. And the loyalty is the higher, the divine loyalty here is being, you know, committed and being loyal to your own heart's wisdom. And you've just beautifully actually explained that here, because the heart, when the heart comes up here again, is the knowingness. When you just do something and you just know, and you don't need to know why you're doing it, or you actually don't even know the outcome of it or have any expectations of it. You just do it because, and I think, did Amy say that? Intuition?
Yeah.
You said, I really think intuition is a beautiful combination with loyalty.
Because can't you feel like, I'll just give my husband as an example. I can feel his loyalty to me, and I can feel my loyalty to him. And we don't even have to discuss loyalty. You don't even have to talk about it. It's just there. And it's been there for a very long time. And to me, that's why it's hard to define loyalty, because I can get easily confused with commitment, faith, trust. Then you can bring trust into it. And it could be just under the umbrella. All that is under the umbrella of loyalty. The trust, the faith, the honesty, all of that.
Absolutely. I need to read that now, because what you just said, I was reading yesterday, The White Dog in the Consciousness Self, and what it says here, and I really thought that was interesting. The harmonic wisdom of White Dog is affinity. Now remember the word affinity, the attraction of like vibration or substances for one another. You express more authentically who you are. You draw your true family closer to you. With your guides and companions, you have the ability to manifest your inspired visions and dreams. Blah, blah, blah. The harmonic wisdom of White Dog is affinity again. That's also what like listen. On the surface, at times, it may seem that you have little in common, right? Listen to this. With these companions, yet the attraction remains. So this is like what Amy's saying, you know, how long have you been married to this guy, right? But the attraction remains. Now, such companions often are drawn together by the same aligned forces that draws iron fillings to a magnet.
Wow.
Companions of destiny are drawn together to do work that is naturally harmonious. But that's not what I was going to read. Sorry, I just lost this. So on the surface, at times, it may seem that you have little in common with these companions. This is because, listen to this, essence selves are often committed to work together long before they have met in the physical world.
Yes, so true.
This is because essence selves are often committed to work together long before they have met in the physical. So we could say that, you know, the essence selves have already been drawn together before you guys even met. So again, that shows you your capacity of intuition and working together that goes beyond the physical, you know. And this is a natural process of affinity rather than a process motivated from personal desire.
You can look at that as karmic coming together and as dharmic coming together. So today we want to recognize karmic coming together and make our broader vision, expanded vision, and work with that karmic, turning it into dharmic, if we can. But if it's not possible in some relations to turn it into dharmic, that is today energy, then you just need to make some revocation inside of you with all those contracts, vows, agreements that put you in that kind of relations. And actually, you can realize around you that you have set of that kind of karmic coming together. The same people with the same kind like connection will be around you. So
there's a shifting of people's dynamics, but and it's quite interesting to just go back what we were saying earlier already, you know, because we're no longer just living this one life in one dimension, but sometimes, you know, the loyalty is actually the essence of other selves. Even though you don't seem so loyal, you know, in this reality, or you don't even understand loyalty in this reality, there is a loyalty because that has been already contracted out on different levels, right? But then I would say the one thing is when, yes, you can do the revocations, Arena, as you say, and just change this all around. Or you could even look at that loyalty that is innately contracted out and say, well, what am I not seeing in this reality? And how can I actually make this relationship work? That, you know, because I've misidentified what relationship means, what love fucking means, what romance means, and all of that. And, you know, and this is what we've all been doing, really, you know, on so many levels. That's that out creation, that continuous out creation.
Agreed completely. And I want to add to this our wider vision on humanity and recognizing that some experiences that we have today on Earth, they're not really human experiences. There is no heart in those experiences. You know, it's like killing for love, something like this, or killing for life. It's not human experience. It's totally dualistic experience that from our past. This kind of revocation I'm talking about, that some experiences and some our loyal connections to experience or to people can't be from our past, like we already said, it could be karmic, and they don't have place in our new experience that we all desire to have here, to expand, to be in that co-creation with entirety of universe.
Absolutely. So how many of us here have sworn allegiances? Because we've got lots of warriors in this group here, in this tribe, you know. How many of those allegiances have we sworn, you know, to the kingdoms of the old, and to, you know, all the kings and the queens, and, you know, the government, and you know, this is where, you know, we get so drawn. If you look in the States in particular, no, not even just in the States. If you look at, what's that word? The P word. Being, what's the word? We're being, you're being loyal to the government, being loyal to
Pledge.
the leader.
You're pledging.
Pledge.
The pledge. You're pledging.
Pledging, yeah, pledging that too. But I can't think of the word now. It's a P word, something P. But it's
Committed.
say again?
Patriot.
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 The patriot.
Oh, there you go.
Patriot.
Oh yeah.
The patriotism. Look at all the patriotism.
Thank you, Lana. It's Lana.
Thanks, guys. I mean, this
Yeah.
is totally misleading us. You know, that's got fuck all to do with loyalty. You know, this is completely going the wrong way, because it pushes us into a limited sort of point of view, how it's been done in the past, and doesn't allow us to out-create ourselves and actually follow our own truth, because we are so indoctrinated to follow the group, right?
That would be the Semper
Exactly.
Fi. That's the Semper Fi for the Marines. You know, you had to almost hypnotize people. Like, why did people join the Marines and the Navy and you have to have some kind of loyalty to that.
You have to have your old programs of
You
the same
do.
nature. Then you just pushed into that direction. You just pulled like a magnet to those structures in society that now, like we already discussed, completing their way to be their experience, and even loyalty to our spiritual path. Guys,
Yeah.
it's the same patriotism on other level of existence. We have to look at that as well and make our recognition, is it of today direction, or it's a past experience that bringing us the same as we had yesterday.
So it's a beautiful, looking at loyalty is a beautiful way of actually taking apart patriotism and really saying, how does this still apply today? You know, but just to give an example, for instance, you know, when I think I said that before in one of the shows, but we had King Charles being crowned, right? And I was watching it on TV, and I teared up, and I thought, why am I tearing up? You know, I have absolutely no officially conscious relationship to that. And the next thing is, I looked at that, asked a few questions, and I realized that I had still old allegiances that I had pledged, you know, to the kingdoms in the UK. There's a reason why I'm living here, you know, because I have a huge mystery schools and all of that from the. But look at yourself, you know, where have you pledged allegiances? And that's almost a word that nobody used, but where are you super loyal to a cause, to a person, like Alfredo said, or, you know, loyal to what? To a person, to a cause that does not necessarily contribute
Today anymore. Yes, exactly. By the way, do you know that indigenous see dogs as the most troubled animals?
I like it. No, I like to hear
that. Yes, the most troubled animals that will have problems with crossing from old experience to our new experience that we are looking and going and actually starting to have. This is what they say.
Okay, well, I'm not sure like that.
Huh, yeah.
You know, I thought more the forerunners, you know, to create.
I know that.
I love that, you know. So yeah.
Irina, what's the name of the animal? I didn't catch it.
Dogs. Our dogs. Human dogs. Yeah.
Dogs, regular dogs.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is what they say, the most troubled animals. Domesticated wolves, it's a dog.
Okay.
So the dog is not a wolf, and it is just because we made them like that. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That is the
They've
wolf.
evolved a lot, the dogs.
Yeah, but they played a wonderful role in our past and still continue.
Yeah.
And still continue, but it's not future.
So, well, let's look at that
Mhm.
for a second, you know, because dogs have become our companions, and lots of people who are on their own, they have, look, we all have different, you know, Sandrine, you have dogs. I don't know who else got dogs, but you can all bring
Yes,
in
John.
your experience here. I don't have a dog. All I'm seeing is that lots of people that are on their own have dogs, you know, but they abuse the dogs, and I abuse them to be in their service. You know, what I never liked is when, you know, that particular treating the dogs as children in a way, you know, and take out everything, doesn't allow them to be a dog anymore, you know. It has to walk exactly next to them and have a little lekele, you know, and you know, it's like, what is this? That's what I never liked.
But
It's
some
humanized, and people are carrying around in pouches. Like, I see someone carrying a pouch. I was like, oh, he's got a baby, and it's like a little fluffy dog in there.
And
Like,
a
oh my gosh,
stroller.
let that dog walk around. You're over here carrying him like a freshborn baby. It's ridiculous. I see
again,
that rampant where I work. It's ridiculous.
if you look
Anyway.
what we're saying now, in case of our inner experience, our personal experience, it can be showing our loyalty in our past to some situations, some people that we are now kind like trying to put into words, looking at dogs, because they are still holding that energy of loyalty. Yes, for us to recognize if something bothering us, look inside. Maybe you had very similar experience, but I see a lot of people today doing very good job, great job to dogs. They are seeing them and behaving with them as companions, like equal companions. I have a guy who has a dog, and they are companions. They are completely equal, like two people.
Mhm.
Completely in what they are doing. Yes, sir.
No, in
So-
the, you know, if we're looking at it from the evolutionary perspective, that is where, you know, when our ancestors were hunting through the steppes or whatever, you know, it is easier to hunt in a pack. So that is when you start to be a communion or in a pack or in a group. Dogs just came with it, you know, dogs are pack animals. They are innate, you know, they also turned, so maybe either it was us humans or, you know, whatever entity it was at that moment, human form, humanoids, that took advantage of the dogs, because they also have this pack mentality, you know, that they can hunt together, because that is how you survive better. Where in cats, it's a little bit different, you know, they're coming from a different perspective. But the dog, and this is where the dogs and us humans just, you know, grew probably together. What we are doing right now with them is just, I cannot even start, you know, because I scream. And I have a very high pet peeve with people that are training their dogs to the death of the bloody dog. You know, that they have to sit, that they have to do this, that they have to wink that ear, and then they have to wink that ear, and then this tail, and I'm like, can this dog just be a dog maybe sometimes? But they even forget completely that, you know, to be a dog, because they, you know, they are just waiting for the next command to come up in. So, and this is also another an legacy to what is happening in the mainstream, no? That they are waiting for the next thing to come up to pledge allegiance to and to run after, no?
Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And let me just say something, because I love you brought up the dog as a pack animal. Yeah, I really love that, because part of the loyalty of the divine loyalty of the dog, the white dog tribe, and all our aspirations here is to bring people together. And that is actually beautifully, depicted in dogs, as you say. I haven't even thought about this. I did write down bringing together tribes to evolve and thrive. Now that is loyalty to the cause, to the source, to the spirit, to the God. You know, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
It is beautiful, and it's showing And it's showing again, if something's still bothering you, looking at that kind of frequency existing in our today, you need to look inside, because dogs, they are holding that frequency of loyalty. Like you said, divine plan loyalty. For us to recognize that loyalty can be looked in many different ways.
Absolutely. Well, that's why we're talking about it. And, you know, we've already brought up so much stuff. Sandrine.
And they are also the best example of unconditional love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this
That's
is where
part of it.
I think we need to learn so much from, you know, this unconditional love and taking you as you are. You know, you are the evil bastard with him. Well, yeah, he knows that. Fine. You know, you're the absolutely adoring, loving, kissing, whatever, giving him treats to the end kind. Well, perfect. Yeah, I love that too, you see. So it's yeah.
And what about,
Go,
I was
Amy.
just going to say, with the dog pack, and what about the alpha dog? We are the alpha to the dog. You know, it's kind of,
This is still something that is actually being discussed, that this
Yeah.
is, I'm sorry to bring that up, but if we're looking at it from the sadomasochistic perspectives of, you know, this, because there are these sub-alphas. You can be an alpha, but you can also be a sub-alpha to another alpha. And that is actually, I think, where in cognitive sciences, where they are still not sure about the alpha thing. It is obvious from the outside, but is it really like that? There is somebody who needs to take the lead, and then we call him the alpha because everybody is pledging allegiance and loyalty to that one to run after him, because apparently he's the one or she's the one that will bring the most that will bring the prizes of, you know, the survival. But I don't actually think, I think again, this alpha terming is something that we come up with, and it's not really something that, because the alpha can change can change quickly in nature, in a sense.
Historically, if you look at alpha, so it's like an oldest you, usually oldest male. Historically, if you look, this is kind of like connection to our tribal existence, when we were still connected to universal vision, not so limited vision, and it was connected to our breathing. We were breathing together to be as group together through that male who we choose, what we call today alpha, that older one. We were breathing together. Dolphins still live that way. They choose one species, one being, one dolphin, and they are all connected and breathing together with that dolphin. This is how they stay together. This is how they explore together.
so we're putting that definition, then we're putting that definition on them. They don't even understand what that means.
No. It's again, we are returning to human level of experience and vision, and who we are inside our essence. That is the same for every living being.
Yeah.
So what if I'd like to say that every single one of us has to be an alpha in their own lives.
Yeah.
Has to learn to become a servant and leader, loyal to themselves, to their growth, to their mission. And then we can say alpha becomes the group itself, the community. There's no particular alpha that leads the group or anything, but as we breathe together, love that, as we all breathe together, all the alphas are breathing together and create beyond the alpha, beyond the pack. Yeah?
Exactly. This is that co-creation we're all looking for, because if you got someone loyal to you and going under you, you are losing interest in that person if you are real. If you are still stuck in your limitations, you will enjoy that, you know, give some assignments and pull and push. But if you are real, you won't enjoy that. You want equal co-creation. This is what you want.
Absolutely. Equal co-creation, non-competition. Absolutely.
And you might even have to also look at those that are the weaker, weak, you know, in the sense that those that are not yet on the same level. Because this is something that I notice nowadays, that as I'm being more emergent in anything that I've been recently touching, like I still fall sometimes into this arrogance of like, well, that person is not yet at the level, you know, where I am. So, you know, do I cut him out because it's probably easiest? But no, why should I do that? Maybe I'm not trying to bring them maybe up to the level, but maybe just letting them be where they are and still trying to be with them in a sense.
Mhm.
That false part,
Yeah.
loyalty part that goes into the unconditional love. It's just so
Yeah.
interesting because, you know, so many times we talked about unconditional love, or we haven't really defined it because it's undefinable, really.
Mhm.
But then you find that one value like loyalty, and all of a sudden, oh God, yes, that is part of what we're actually, you know, giving the title of unconditional love, you know. Absolutely. And of course, there's non-judgment in all of that. There, and again, there's the heart's guidance. We have to allow, I think, Sandrine, it's the heart guidance. You know, sometimes,
Mhm.
you know, let them go. They will come back when they're ready. And if not, it's okay too. Just going with the heart's, you know, being, that's where we have to always remember. You always have to be loyal. Arena, bye.
Right.
That's why you always have to be loyal to yourself first, because also the thing is, if you don't know what loyalty is, you know, then you can't be loyal to anyone else. But at least it's easier to understand it, you know.
Yeah, I the word contract, it's not a contract, loyalty. I
Is
always,
it-
you know, it's not a contract, meaning like it comes more from wholehearted commitment,
Mm.
more than this is a contract, you know, like in the legal aspects of things, or, you know, this is my loyalty to my faith or my religion. It's not a contract you're signing. It can always be revoked.
There's always an exalted contract behind it. It's the contract that
Yeah.
you have made with yourself and spirit
Yes.
being through, right?
Yes. It's
Mm.
not that. Yeah. There's a different feeling to that.
Yeah, that's the infinity Lana was talking. Lana,
Yeah.
you want to come in and talk a little bit about your infinity feeling on loyalty?
Well, like I said, the only thing that I'm loyal to is that which is infinity. So when I think of the of well, the other word I came up that popped in my mind this morning as I was pondering some things was the mighty infinity. And I thought, wow, that's such an original phrase or wording for the allness of the creator, the intelligent creator, the mighty infinity. And so if we consider the fact that we're never disconnected from that mighty infinity, and we came into this reality to recognize or if for infinity to recognize itself or to know itself, and it receives the experience through each one individually in the moment. And so all of us is are the wholeness of this mighty infinity. And so we can't be loyal to anything else because there is nothing else besides the one infinity. So that's where my thoughts was coming from. So
So
the true and real loyalty is to that wholeness, to the allness, to the everything.
Which is you. Are you saying the infinity is you?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes, that infinity.
It's us.
Infinity recognizing its awareness through each each individual in the moment. So there is no division really, right? When you take it from that higher concept of thinking, not in the lower form of the loyalty or anything like that, like Martina mentioned in the beginning, like what the dictionary would say loyalty is. That's the general belief of loyalty. So that's a lower form of thinking of loyalty, right? You're saying I'm loyal to this, I'm loyal to that. Well, the news media, the people who work for the news media are loyal to bringing the news every evening at 6 o'clock. But are they honest in what they're saying?
Some people
The
think
answer
they
is sometimes they're honest, sometimes they're not honest. And that's no fault of their own. It's what the person who's preparing the news, that's their highest sense of right in that moment, presenting the news. But our loyalty is really to the oneness, the infinite.
Yeah, I like that, Lana. So, you know, and that brings me to the loyalty of the truth seeker and the truth teller. Yeah, because
Yeah.
see, the thing is, everything is infinite, everything is one, we're all one, and sometimes we have to break it down in order to make any sense of it, you know, because loyalty, you know, the question we can ask, how is infinity loyal to us? How
Exactly.
is spirit loyal?
That's another way. That's another way to ask the question.
Yeah. So how do you perceive spirit or infinity or God or whatever you want to call it being loyal to you?
It's always loyal to me if I really dig deep and think about it, because it provides me with the principle to live by, the substance that I need in my every moment to exist. Because if we remove the body, right, altogether from our thinking here, we go back to consciousness. We are consciousness. And that consciousness does not require a body to exist. It just does. Because it is part of the mighty infinity.
So we can say, let's find a few words. Loyalty is trust. No?
Yeah.
Sandrine
Yeah,
says
you could
no.
say that,
that's-
but then
Sandrine
again,
says no.
it's a given. Trust
It's a
is a
given.
given.
Yeah, it's that
it's a
umbrella
given.
I was talking about. There's all these
Mhm.
words underneath the word loyalty.
Sandrine says no. Loyalty is not trust.
Okay.
You can be no, because I see loyalty more in this word of the faithfulness, you know, you're faithful to the cause or to the allegiance that you, it's not the trust is still, yeah, that for me it's something different still. Okay, so I don't want to, but it is in there, but it's not
Yeah.
you see, you can using the metaphor that Lana used with the news, you know, they are loyal to the fact that at 6 o'clock they will be there to give you the news. What the content of the news is, what you're going to trust in the news is something else, you see, but they are loyal. They will be there at 6 o'clock when you open your radio or whatever. They will be there and they're giving you the news. That's the loyalty to giving them, to doing their job, to, you know, see. Okay, we can play it a little bit at infinity, but trust for me is still, yeah, it's in there, but not there.
Let me give you the definition of trust that I've adopted over the years. I trust, sometimes, you know, I trust that, for me, trust is awareness, funny enough. And that's why awareness works with infinity for me, or consciousness, because trust for me means I trust that I know how you will behave, faithful or unfaithful. I trust, because I am using my awareness. I trust in myself that I'm willing and able to use my awareness to know, perceive, receive, psychically, you know, appreciate how you will behave. That's my kind of trust. And that puts me in the driver's seat. That doesn't take away loyalty in a way, but it just clears, it takes away blind faith.
Blind face,
When
yeah.
I
bull-
have blind,
Yeah.
blind faith, you know, and that's why, you know, I can say trust equals consciousness, equals awareness, equals infinity, almost. Now, does that mean that you always trust correctly? Of course not. We'll get it wrong,
Right.
you know. But that leads me to the next question, what we said early on. What for? Loyalty to source, to our cause, to our tribe, to our pack, to our communities, to our mission, to our work, to our partners, to our whoever. What for?
For the fun of it.
For the fun of it. I love that. Just because we
Why
want-
not?
Yeah.
It's like this question
Yeah.
about the meaning of life, you know, and I start replying to that. What if the meaning of life is life?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like
No, because
Cool.
and here it's the
I like
same. What is the meaning of trust? It's trust. What is the, you know, it's like it.
It's almost
Yeah.
like you don't have to think about it. It's almost like you,
No,
like I
it's-
said, you don't have to
This
think
is the
about
whole
it.
mystery about life. You know, what is life? We
Yeah.
have no idea what it is. We'll probably never know. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like it's and that is the eternal mystery that will remain, because we might never really grasp and get a grip on it, what it is. We just feel it, we know it. There is something innate in us that lets us experience it, you know, but it is ineffable. You cannot even put it into words because
can't.
it's so out there.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do. I found a quote from Mark Twain about loyalty.
I'll go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he says loyalty to a petrified opinion never yet broke a chain or freed a human soul.
Come again.
Loyalty to a petrified opinion never yet broke a chain or freed a human soul. To me, that means we get stuck on our opinions, we get stuck in our daily lives, we get stuck in what we believe in without opening up and becoming this. I just see all these highways opening. I just see all these highways opening up and driving around and like discovery. It's just discovery. Instead, we get stuck on this petrified opinion of what loyalty is. I mean, maybe that's what.
Yeah. No,
What-
that's
Yeah, that reminds me now of the first noble truth, you know, that all is not suffering, but all is dukkha, you know, all is like, you know, where you get stuck and where you need to get unstuck from to actually be able to, you know,
Yeah,
get out.
yeah,
which very much defines our work that we've been doing, you
Yeah.
know, all along: self-mastery, self-healing, and sovereignty work. Absolutely, to get unstuck, because loyalty, the
Might get you
limited loyalty is not going to get us anywhere.
Mm.
So
Right.
what I would like to do is now look at the expanded loyalty that we were talking about. And I want to ask the question again. And, you know, we have used loyalty. Okay, let's ask another question first. So far, how has loyalty, whichever way we defined it at the time, how has loyalty contributed to us?
The first word that comes to mind is that the word is relaxed. It has helped me be relaxed about things.
Relaxation. Okay, let me
Yeah,
write this down.
relaxation.
Yeah.
For me, it's security or safe, you know, no security. It's to feel secure in a way that.
Okay.
Can you ask the question again?
How has loyalty until now
Mm-hmm.
contributed to us? To us, not we to somebody else or something else. How has loyalty contributed to us? That could be us being loyal, or that could be being our own best friend. Okay, that's what Alfredo says.
To me, there is no real answer to that the way the question is asked. But if you ask the question in the opposite way,
We'll get to that.
We get to it.
The
Yeah.
question, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's repeat the question. How has loyalty contributed to us? So what comes up for me when I look at loyalty now, that I've never looked at it before, loyalty for me now, the way I understand it, how it has helped me until now, the words come up: commitment. It has allowed me to commit to my journey, which I'd never looked at as loyalty, but now I get it. Commitment is loyalty for me. Authenticity, and I've written a few. Endurance. Loyalty and endurance is something that works well for me together. I never contemplated loyalty when I was enduring, you know. Forgiveness is loyalty. Loyalty has contributed to me through forgiveness, through courage, through fearlessness, through trust, through companionship. That's what companionship with others. And then we have relaxation, what Amy said, security, and best friend, what Alfredo said. Until now.
Yeah. I would have to say devotion too for me. Devotion.
Yeah, devotion. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a word we need to look into actually at some
Yeah.
stage. Like that. Devotion. That's a good one too. Yeah. So, you know, but that's interesting because, be honest, you know, I mean, I'm certainly saying I never looked at all of that as loyal. And then that's why I thought, oh, I'm not loyal. What are you talking about? And I'm like, oh my God, yes, that is my loyalty to myself and to others, because I'm like a dog with a bone. I will not give up on people if they don't want to give up on themselves. If they want to give up on themselves, I walk away. I can do that. I couldn't do it before, but now I can. But if they don't want to give up on themselves and they keep trying and they are, you know, committed to themselves, I will not give up. I'll do anything to help them get empowered themselves. All right, now Lana.
Okay, so yeah, so when I re-asked the question to myself, how has loyalty or infinity contributed to me? Then I get answers. So the wholeness has contributed to me, the infinity has contributed to me in ways such as in thought forms, in ideas, peace, harmony, joy, laughter, activity, action, all the things that that which is the loyal contributor to my existence. And so those things are coming to me in the form of ideas, and then ideas turn into the actual living reality that we're existing in. If that helps.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful, because you know that's actually puts loyalty in a completely different light.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can we throw in the bag of loyalty? You know, without loyalty, there's, you know, but it's so much bigger. It's so much bigger than we thought it is. Not just allegiance, you know, not just being faithful. It's so much more than that. So if you ever considered yourself loyal, I might take my hat off, you know, because it takes a lot of guts to be loyal. It takes a lot of.
If I look at from a different direction in a comedic sense, I can say the dishes are loyal to me. They're always sitting there waiting for me to come and wash them later on. So they never go away.
So let's swap that question, Lana, the way you wanted to swap it. Do you still remember how you wanted to swap it?
No.
No.
It
So
just
I'll
went.
swap it.
Because
That's
I
fine.
re-asked the question in my own way, and so I got answers.
So I'll swap it. So how has our personal loyalty contributed to others?
In the same way that loyalty contributed to me, because I am the expression of that loyalty.
Yeah, but to give
'Cause-
us, that's the big concept. Just
Yeah.
whatever comes up, you know, give us like examples. How has your loyalty contributed to others? I mean,
I feel yeah.
you go for it. Go.
I feel the first thing that comes to mind is a sort of motivation.
Motivation, yeah.
Yeah, for others.
Unfortunately,
Because they know that I'm here. They know that I'm here, and therefore they can just keep, they can motivate themselves. If I'm here, they can do that. Yeah.
if I go out on the balcony now, Renee and Jay will just start yapping, and they are the ones that at 7 o'clock in the morning know that they will get food, you know, so that's my loyalty to them. No. But yes, it has to do with, you know, they will be waiting, you know, and the ever opportunist. The dog is one of those that are the most opportunistic and most hopeful creatures as well. But no, what again, it's the security in a sense that they know that they can, you know, that I'm there, you know, to help, to support, to just, you know, take the phone, tell me whatever, and you know, or call me, come help me, and I will be there, something like that.
Absolutely. You create a safe space for people.
Uh-huh.
Now, is that loyalty, Buck? Yes, it's loyalty. Creating a safe space where people can feel safe and secure, you know? So I want to add inspiration to that. You know, create loyalty. I certainly create inspiration through my loyalty. And one thing I have to say, girls and boys here, you coming on a weekly basis is super loyal, right? Is so loyal. Because you know what Sandrine said, feeding the dogs and everything. We're feeding information, we're feeding motivation, we're feeding inspiration, we're feeding wisdom, joy. You know, that's a loyalty, right? I mean, yes, we can say it's a commitment, but now a commitment doesn't work for me anymore. Now I know loyalty is a completely different ballgame, right?
Yeah.
Because the loyalty commitment was earlier. If you look at commitment now, it's like, okay, yeah, we're doing this because we can and la la la. But now loyalty is no, we're doing this because we have loyalty to the plan. There's a plan.
It's the next step, you know, it's
right?
not, it's a higher level, it's another level.
It's a long-term agenda even, right? Loyalty to co-creation. It brings the soul in. And this is what makes this whole thing interesting, because we were talking galactic signatures. Our galactic signatures, galactic calendar is all about Dharma. So all of a sudden we have the energy of Dharma, no longer just karma. Okay, sort ourselves up. No. Now it's like, whoa, loyalty to the cause, to the, you know. Anyone else? How many?
Yes. So you were asking, re-ask the question again so I can answer.
So yes. So how has your loyalty, your personal loyalty, contributed to others?
So when I think of example, my neighbors, when they go away, an example in the summertime, my loyalty to my neighbors is that they can trust that I can go and water their plants. So they would ask me every year to go and water their plants, so that I'm loyal to that fact, because they have that trust that I'm loyal to my commitment to doing that for them.
Beautiful.
So that's one example.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful example. It's so nice to drill down. We can say, yeah, trust, whatever, loyalty. But now we have a whole link, a chain. We have loyalty, we have trust, what we said, and now we have watering the flowers. Now we're going to ground it in, right? Yeah. And look, it's like you say, it's loyalty to the plants, not just to the neighbors.
Exactly, because sometimes if I forget, I feel bad for the plants, because if the plant dries up and die, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't allow that to happen. So I'm more loyal to the plant than I am, in a sense, to the neighbor, right?
That's really important, because that also brings forth the job of the human. Yeah. To make sure that, yes, I mean, look, there's loyalty in the plant to grow.
The caretaker, we are the caretakers.
Exactly. We are caretakers. Yeah. We are Earth's stewardship. Yes, we are
Yeah.
Earth stewards, you know, and there has to be loyalty behind that, you know, and that loyalty has to get into the plant kingdom, into the animal kingdom, into the human kingdom, and then beyond. We are also are loyal. Look, by doing the work that we're doing, being in this hard knock school, in this mystery school, the work that we are creating here, the difference that we're making here for ourselves and for others impacts hugely on the big picture in the other realms, on our selves, the essence selves, because this is the whole avatar, the I am avatar work that we are doing, you know, by having come here and said we're doing the I am avatar, is we are loyal to the selves, to our shards, to our parts, to our I ams.
And I have a question that just came up while you were talking. Okay, so what do we do? Because I mean, we can think of this in a kind of different ways, but I have a tree that's been loyal to me for 25 years, and we need to cut it down. And I also think about the people that have gone before us. How does loyalty come into that? What, you know, I'm talking to the tree every day, you know, saying thank you for your shade and your sunshine through the shade and all that. But I don't know why, something about this tree that has been so loyal. How do we?
So
it's a kind of a sadness. It's kind of a sadness for me.
Well, it is a sadness. Sadness is perfectly valid when you say
Yeah.
to something that you've been around, that has been around for so long. So make it even more personal with the tree. First of all, get an idea who lives in the tree, who is the guardian of the tree.
Okay.
Right? Make that more a personal, when I say personal, identify who's living in the tree, who's the guardian. All right.
Okay.
And then what you got to do is you have a discussion with the guardian, whoever that is. Yeah, it could be an angel, it could be a gnome, it could be any of the elementals.
Yeah.
And then as you give that elemental a different opportunity, say, look, I'm growing a different tree now in the same place or somewhere else, and you can live in that tree. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Place them somewhere, give them a different opportunity. And if the guardian, let's call him guardian, says, no, fuck that, I don't want to live in a different tree, says, okay, well, there is a different place somewhere else where I can take you to if you need to. And then you can do a little ceremony, and even if you just take crystal or something and allow the guardian to come into the crystal and take the crystal to a different place where it wants to be. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You just gave me chills, because I didn't know what to do about this. And I knew there was something that I needed to do. I'm keeping the wood, like I'm going to burn. I'm keeping most of it. It's a big tree, so I'm not keeping all of it, but you know, I am keeping some of the wood to burn.
Yeah. I'm having the same sort of situation I have to go into and make a choice here.
Yeah.
But that's the way to do it. So give the tree guardian a choice. The tree itself is like the body, you know, it's okay.
It is.
Tree, you burn it, you know, but it's the guardian of the tree, whoever that is.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Martina, let me ask you a question now that you mentioned that. How much can be our attachment as human be affected for everything that we experience? Because in this case, Amy had 25 years really gratitude for this being. And in my thinking, I was trying to analyze myself with my little brain, how much attachment to the reality that for everything that's surrounding us, we have that affecting our daily life.
Well, first of all,
making decisions.
Yeah. Well, attachment is not going to get you anywhere. It's not loyal. Attachment is not loyalty. Yeah.
Mhm.
Attachment is actually limitation of
Mhm.
that tree, because even the guardian might no longer be happy in that tree, you know. And at the end of the day, it's all a conversation. It's all like, okay, so let's just have a chat and see, you know,
Mhm.
look at what is, does this still work for you? Does the, you know, and that kind of thing. So attachments feels heavy. Yeah, absolutely. Because every attachment has an expectation attached to it, you know, and it takes out the lightness of energy, you know,
Mhm.
and the projection. So we're not projecting onto the tree. We're just having a conversation with the tree and see whatever is. And at some stage, Amy, let us know what the tree
Yeah,
is saying.
I
Because
will.
most of the time, they're not, they fully appreciate that, you know, the tree has to go sometimes. But all they need is a choice, because they've probably lived in this tree or in that particular place for so many years. It's just like a ghost. Sometimes a ghost doesn't know that it's a ghost. So, but just, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was talking to it, it kept asking, and it showed me the next day that this fungus on the bottom that was growing on the tree, and I'm like, I have not seen this fungus at all. And then it just started growing, this fungus, and I'm like, aha, yeah,
But you
it's
go.
time. It's
But you have
time. Because I didn't want to let it go, but it has to go. Yeah. It's being a
guys,
little destructive.
no, I know, but I mean,
Being destructive, yeah.
like, you know, sometimes we have to let go people. Sometimes we have to let go stuff.
Yeah.
And again,
Okay.
you know, if you have a conversation with it, then it's much easier. So who was writing something here? Why don't you just say it?
No, because you were full in the.
Oh.
I just we had to take down a cherry tree that was over 50 years old, and we just left the stump, and we're feeding. So in summertime we put up a bird bath, and in wintertime we're just feeding. You know, we use it for feeding, so it's still there. It has, yeah. So it's still there, but it doesn't have any cherries anymore.
Well, you know what,
But it's still
Sandrine?
there,
Yeah,
sense.
we have to take the stump out because we are going to put a new tree in there.
Okay.
But I do have a stump from the old tree. There were 3 of these river birch trees, and I kept the stump, and it's just rotting on my patio, and mushrooms are growing on it, and all this
Perfect.
stuff.
The insects
Yeah.
love you.
Yes,
And the wonderful thing about wood is you can always make something out of it. I mean, although you have to chop him down now, either you use it as firewood, I don't know how thick it is, or you just make something out of it and have it and keep it.
Yeah.
Something useful, like whatever, you know.
I love it. Yeah.
There's actually, you know, and yes, and you know, in Richmond Park in London, they do that. When they cut trees down, they don't take them all out. They leave them there. They leave them to rot, you know. And there's actually one thing I've written it in my book. I had a past life regression once, and I wanted to be taken back to a non-human life, you know, and I was taken back to where I was a dead tree trunk lying.
No.
Yes, I was. And it was
Oh
the most exhilarating experience, because I was giving life to so many bacteria and little creepy crawlies.
yes.
I just wanted to see you say you probably have never felt more alive than at that moment.
I know, I felt something like, oh my God, it was like, whoa, I felt it was such an amazing experience to be of service like that. You know?
Yeah.
So all these things need to be taken into consideration, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Great. So what was the question we were asking?
Personal loyalty.
Loyalty.
Yeah.
How have we been loyal? Oh yeah, and then
To others.
the flowers came in. Yeah. So how have we been loyal? How has our loyalty contributed to others? Yes.
Well, that's why I brought in the tree, because we co-created together.
Yes,
You know, that was, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, mindfulness, you know, if you're mindful of what's around you and let go of the attachment, knowing that whatever it is, you will always, attachment always limits, you know, always stay in the question, what is required now? How can I be a contribution? Whatever is there that we can do together now, that will be a contribution. What is the greater good, for the greater good. And always the loyalty of us consciousness explorers and truth seekers and what's the other one, truth tellers, is really to look. The biggest loyalty, as far as I'm concerned now, is for us to keep the bigger picture in mind and don't lose ourselves in the dynamics that are playing out at the moment, and always look so beyond that. How can we be devoted to exalted friendships and relationships, be that now non-human, be that with interdimensionals? We must take that into consideration, especially with all the crap that's coming out. They're telling us that they're aliens. Well, of course they are, you know. We don't call them aliens because they're not, they are interdimensionals. But just bringing in that bigger perspective is our loyalty of serving the awakening, the ascension, the self-development of anyone else.
And when you say that,
go.
well, no, when you say that, I don't know why, but this comes to mind. It's about the reveal. It's the revealing of everything, like the loyalty and knowing the unknowingness and the reveal that comes. And I came to mind because I was thinking of Sandrine, and I also knit. So Sandrine, you're knitting those socks. You don't know how they're gonna turn out, but you're there, you're loyal to your yarn, right? You're co-creating. And sometimes as an artist, you just don't know when to stop either with your painting, you know, with your knitting. It's almost like, well, I'm not done yet. I'm not done being loyal yet or something. I don't know why that came to mind, but it's the reveal.
It's nice that this comes up, because I have lately, because I've been dabbling in many things, and also artistry and painting is something that I've been dabbling in. And I actually did at one stage a painting. It was a huge painting. And the painting suddenly told me, you have to paint me over in black paint. And that's what I did. And then I literally, like some of the artists, I know it sounds bizarre. I just put down the brush and I said, I'm done with this. And this has been a long time. And since that time, I have not even gone back to painting, not even doodling, just nonsense, you know. No, lately with the yarn, it's completely different. Wool is something that I'm still with it. I'm loyal to it. I can do whatever with it. I'm very happy that it's still there, and I'm very happy that I can do it. Because although I've lately thought that maybe, you know, I should go back and just start painting again, it's like, no, still not there. But the yarn,
you're loyal to the yarn right now.
So a question came up while I was gone for a moment, as I was thinking. So we're talking about loyalty today, but then the word came into my mind, committed. Are we committing to something, or are we being loyal to something?
What do you think? What are you, committed or loyal?
Committed could be we're committed to our job, which we have to show up for every day, right? But it could be interpreted as though you're being loyal to your job, right? So committed and being committed to something and being loyal to something, I think it's two different meanings altogether.
Yeah, we did mention that a bit early on. Maybe you were gone at the time. We were saying the energy, if you just look at the energy of commitment, it's a bit fleshed out now. It's been used a lot, so it gets a bit tired, right? But loyalty is not so much in you know, used up yet. So it's got a lot of breathing space. And it seems like I would say commitment, I would apply it to the karmic path, you know, and loyalty to the dharmic path. It's got a bigger energy.
I like that. Yeah.
So let's work with that actually, you know, with the next question and say, well, when we talk about the bigger dharmic loyalty, what are we loyal to in a bigger dharmic, on the bigger dharmic path? So how can we use our loyalty in an expanded way for the dharmic path? So what would be subjects to address that we could be loyal to or show our loyalty through?
It's a big question and it covers a lot
Hello.
because now we're on the dharmic path. But anyway,
Hello.
Amelia, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Aminia, you want to say something?
Oh, no, it's fine. It's okay, Lana. You
Okay.
can go.
So let me kick something off here, yeah? So
Mhm.
when I look at the dharmic path and the loyalty to the plan, the big plan, you know, what would you say is the next step we can spend more exploration on? You know, because we've done all the emotional clearances and now will always come through and stuff like that. But for me, I would say third eye is coming up a lot at the moment. Third eye. So telepathy. My next loyalty would lie in expanding on telepathy, expanding on psychic capacities, expanding on the third eye. How can we use it? What can we use it for? How can we even make the old kind of mediumship, right? So when you go to a medium, all the medium does, it reads your auric field, right? Whatever you've got in your field, that's what they read. It's very simple. They don't really, if you're honest, don't really give you anything new. So a medium, an old paradigm medium, does not read the astral world. It reads whatever is in your field. Now, loyalty to the cause, for me, is the next level is astral intercourse. That will be my next book.
By the way, I bought your book.
That will be the next book. The title is, I've got the title first order now, Astral Intercourse. How can we live safely, secure, unattached, without going into tremendous sort of sovereignty issues in the astral world? New mediumship. That for me would be a loyalty that I'm putting forward.
Wow,
And we will have
that's great.
chats about that. And we have spoken about that before. And we'll have to use, you know, the dream time. How can we become dream time travelers in the same way as we are reality travelers here?
Should we cover the subject of Dharma? Did we cover Dharma like a long time ago? We may have, right?
Yeah, we did.
Or we never did.
It was a long time ago.
Long time ago.
Maybe we should refresh our
we
on
can
the
do
subject
that.
of Dharma.
Say it in one
Because
sentence. We can say it in one sentence. We can say, okay, look, whatever we've done until now, the healing journey is all been resolution, karmic resolution, right?
yeah.
And that gets very much depicted by meeting one person after the next, be this now a boyfriend, be this now, you know, a different job, be this now different situations, getting triggered, sorting out why we get triggered. Now lots of us find ourselves in a place where we no longer get triggered, right? Lots of us find in a place where we're actually quite isolated. We don't have huge amounts of people come towards us, right? Unless we reach out. Now that is a sign that we're moving on to the dharmic path. Now, the dharmic path is guided by choice and focus, and by the understanding of free will. Because on the karmic path, we have no idea what bloody free will actually is, right? But now we are on the precipice of getting onto the dharmic path, where the problems are less, you know, the hardship is less. We're starting to create not from challenge, but we are creating from joy. We're creating from choice. We're creating from imagination and intuition, right? Now that's sort of in a nutshell the dharmic path, the way I see it.
And in the sense then getting back to the roots.
Getting back to the roots, getting back to natural living. So that would be dharmic path. Understanding what natural is, understanding the correlation between natural living and technology.
And using our natural abilities, which we have innately in us, but we are currently not using anymore because we lost completely, you know, we lost the way to do it.
Yeah, activating
or
our
we didn't know.
technology.
Yeah, activating. Yeah, exactly.
And also, you know, I would say there is no real distinction. This is karmic, this is dharmic, because on the dharmic path, you start to appreciate that actually you can't make that, because separation disappears, Lana, like you said, infinity all becomes infinite. The possibility, but more possibility, but also there's this other level of appreciation of imagination and allowing yourself to see the magic in the unpredictability and having the trust in playing with the unpredictability, finding the safety in your own loyalty, finding the safety and trust in within yourself that wherever you are, whatever happens, you'll be okay. So that's all part of that. So there's lots and lots of that. But, and as I said, for me, astral becomes more and more important on the dharmic path. What we are doing, or everything we've learned in this reality, on this dimension, which is again not just one, but anyway, just the awareness, becoming more aware of all the other dimensions. What are we actually doing in other levels of awarenesses? Okay, so another way of looking at that is appreciating. I've posted that in the Earth Nouveau from Lindsay again, Philip Lindsay, the appreciation of the star sign and the ascendant, you know. So you could say that the karmic path was very much linked to your birth sign. I'm a Cancer, so that was very much all that. But my ascendant is a Sagittarius. So I'm coming now into the dharmic place where I'm bringing out, I've always brought the Saggy out more than but you know, that's the main sort of general idea, that you're becoming more your sun, your rising, your ascending, you know, place. Because he said very, very beautifully, is this is also when you die, you come back in as your sun sign. So if you're like Sandrine, you are an Aries, so you would have died as an Aries. So you come back in now as your next sun rising ascendant sign, whatever that is.
I think it's
Virgo. So you come back as a Virgo. Well, here you go. Now, Virgo compared to Aries is very different. You come back as a bloody nurturer, right? I know. Good luck with that.
I'm a double Virgo. My moon and sun are the same.
Perfectionist. Enjoy what you got now, woman.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I hope that.
You've been blessed.
I'm not slapping off
No.
any Virgos. I love them.
No. Yeah. That's so funny.
Oh.
So
Wow.
what is you know, another question to just ask, very simple. What's your next exploration? What are you wanting to play with? What is your loyalty? Focus that in the next couple of years.
I would have to say the dream time, because my dreams have becoming my reality is going into my dream, if that makes sense. Where I'm seeing animals of this world. Like I just had a dream of a ferret, like, you know, and he was kissing me, you know, on his cheek, like sucking like that. And, you know, this woman had it in her arms and she said, here, I think you should have this. So it's like, okay, you know, I looked up ferret, but I forget what it means, but you know, it's just funny. It's just like, I'm not seeing anything weird out there. I'm not seeing anything, you know, it's more like this is always in my dream, whatever this is, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Most of my dreams are real in the sense they're just dreams, because it's a fantastic journey, but it's nothing. I have not encountered any outward entity. It's people, it's animals, it's machines. I can fly, okay, well, that's different, but the rest is like, no.
And I think that what I would say, and I have the same experience, and I beat myself up all the time. Oh my God, I would like to really, you know, have more. But it's the same when I have a medicine journey. I'm like, oh my God, I want to feel all of that, and then I'm totally bloody grounded, that, you know, that kind of thing. But it's like, I think just shows us how much work we do on this planet and how loyal we actually are to doing the work on this planet.
Mm.
To really helping, because that's what we do during dreams. We are working. It's just like, that's our job, working. If you see the ferret in your dream, if you see a ferret in this reality, you'd look it up and see what are the metaphysical properties.
Yeah.
You do the same in the dream world, you know. So you're making the dream real, but just dealing with it exactly the way you would
Yeah.
here. But there's more, obviously, that we can explore as we go along, because that is a big part of the astral world.
Is there a connection between the third eye and dream world?
I would say so, because, you know, the third eye closes down into the solar plexus.
Oh, okay.
All the chakras close down into the solar plexus, and then the dreaming body leaves from the solar plexus. So it takes all that with you.
Okay.
Take all that with you as you go into the dream reality. But again, you know, it's nothing mystical, it's nothing magical. It is, but it's not mystical, because once you start understanding the dreaming body, and we learned a little bit through AB about it, and I'm sure there's other people, I mean, Steiner talks about it to a certain extent. I have to explore this a bit more, but I'm sure there are other people. But then again, you know, this is also where you got to start trusting your own intuition and knowingness, and start playing. What do you know about the dream world, right? It's not just what AB says or Steiner says. It's like that, you know.
Yeah.
This also goes together with becoming more better mediums, better channels. You know, none of us calls himself a channel, but frankly, we channel all the time, because none of us have prepared anything, you know, for coming on to this show. So we're continuously channeling, you know. And if you listen to a channeling, they might close their eyes or may not, but the information is very normal. It's nothing really new what they channel, you know. And with us, it's just like, okay, let's just bring it forward, you know. So we are all channels. You know, we sometimes, you know, feel that we need to bring forward information that nobody else has brought forward. I speak for myself. I always thought I need to bring forward information that nobody else has brought forward. And that's such a misconception, because it's just the voice. You express it in your own voice. You might say exactly the same, right, Alfredo? Yeah, but you say it in your signature. And just by you saying it, because it's not the words, it's the sound, it's the rhythm, it's the expressions, the words. Even if somebody doesn't see your hands move around, that's creates, you know, Amy saying the same sentence, and we all say the same sentence, it has a different impact.
Yeah.
This is that understanding we have to really, you know, drag home. It's like, bring home that energy is what we are working with in that next level. We have to become energy masters. And now we can focus on that, because we have cleared our emotional trigger system and guidance system, you know. And the guidance, the emotional guide, I always used to say our emotions are our guidance system, and they were, but it was a low frequency guidance system, right? It's still based on triggers, but now we're going into the next guidance system, and that is pure energy. It's pure energy. So third eye. So the other thing, I'm just going to throw in what I've talked about. Community living is another thing. We have communities here, right? But on a 3D level, 3, 4, whatever, we got to start living and working in communities. And that's Dharma, that's coming together as the pack. And you already start hearing people, you know, creating spaces together, healing centers, growing vegetables, whatever you want to do. And that they are sprouting at the moment, you know. And the question is, we don't necessarily have to find the space and start one on our own, but we can infiltrate. So my plan is to say, okay, so who's doing one of those? I'm just going to come over and I'm going to see how I can contribute my loyalty to the bigger community living cooperation. I don't have to even live there, but I can leave my energy there. I can, you know, add. I could say, oh, I could do workshops, I could do healing this, or I could just be there and have some fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Well, that is true. When you're going for a float, or you're going for a session, or you're going for, infrared sauna, like even Alfredo went to do the Lucia light, like that's a community support kind of system.
Yeah, and it could be
And
any. And we haven't even started looking into this. It doesn't have to be the normal healing center. It could be, I don't know, just an artist. It could be anything.
yeah.
Music, making music together,
Yeah.
singing, or God knows, I don't know, whatever will come to that. But that's something to look into. And that's loyalty again. Bigger sense of how do we spread our energy around? What do we invest our energy in?
Mhm.
Death, sorry guys, death is something we'll
Yeah.
have to play with. We'll have
Yeah.
to live with. Alice Bailey said, I don't know, 1915 or 37 or whatever she said it. It's going to take an end of the century. Now, what have we got now? 23. So end of the century, no one should be afraid of death anymore. If we're going to manage to do that, I think it's a bit of a huge sort of idea. But even if it's just the 6 of us,
Yeah.
even if just the 6 of us get to the place where we're no longer afraid of death and cross over with a conscious understanding of what's going on over there, and a conscious understanding that we have a choice to either come back or to keep the etheric body that we're playing with at the time. Death is a big one we need to look into, I think. And I think there's a lot we can do. We can go to places, what do you call these places where people are actually dying. We can go there and help them out and give them an understanding. We can run thousands of workshops along those lines. We can just obviously learn ourselves a bit more about that. And again, that's also going together with the dream world. So the dream world is a big anchor point here. It's a key point because, it's that understanding that death is probably the most practiced transition anyway, because every night we die.
Yeah.
So I want to say that I'm not loyal to death. I'm sorry.
Carry on
Get what I said?
talking. Tell us. Carry on
Yeah.
talking.
I said I just want to say I'm not loyal to death. If I could say that.
But it's certain.
Yeah.
One of the certainties,
I'm
Look
hoping
on.
I can be like Jesus and just flutter out, or one of those.
Well, as you say that,
Yeah.
you are ready, because we can be that, I mean, we have to look at religion and we have to look at the Bible. We have to see how it's all been bastardized, and did the guy really die on the cross, or did he actually not, that kind of thing. I think the loyalty is to demystify, is that the word?
Demystify, yeah.
Demystify the concept of it, and take the fear away.
I think what also, and this is something that is coming up more and more in the US, is that this natural way of decomposing the body instead of putting it in a box, having it more in a natural composting way, or in a natural, how do you call it? Sack,
some pod, box,
whatever, box, whatever, wicker baskets and stuff like that. Or that you can have an aquamation. So instead of a cremation, it's fire, you actually put into a tube and it's done by water. It's called aquamation.
What?
Yes. Look up on the website. It's called the Order of the Good Death. It's absolutely, they do really good sensibilization and awareness raising work.
Oh.
I put it in the
once I put the recording on.
Yeah.
Then I don't have to fuck around with the chat business text. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, well, that too, because that gives a bit of comfort.
Exactly.
Comfort. And really the beginning of all of that is to, how can we comfort people? Not everyone is a mental, who wants to understand everything, and that's fine too. That will be part of our teachings, of course. but the comfort is really important. And that's where the loyalty comes back in, because the loyalty is linked to the unconditional love, right? We can't get angry with people who don't want to go down the road and appreciate death for what it is and start all of a sudden celebrating it, because it's not going to happen that quickly, right?
No.
But, you know, just being the space. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been part of someone dying.
Yeah.
All you need to be is be the space.
Yeah.
You know, and also, you know, obviously have an awareness of what's happening, you know, as this is, and, you know, I mean, I was 11 years old when my grandmother died, so I didn't have any idea that she passed on the fucking baton to me, you know, that, you know, okay, you're in charge. Like, what? I only found out last year when I was writing the book, you know.
Wow.
But that can happen as well. But the majority of people are there to hold space and help them cross over,
Mhm.
right? So just learning how to help people cross over. And that, how beautiful is that, to be able to do that? I think it's such a gift to be a part of somebody's death. Now, we need people who can see it as a gift, who are not scared of it, and who can appreciate it as the most loving thing you can ever do.
Yeah, it is.
So it's not just even about our own death, you know, it's practicing with other people. And look, I'm not saying for 1 second, how much practice, whatever you're doing, you will not be afraid in the end. That's not what I'm saying. But there is a preparation, just like we prepare for bloody everything. We prepare for our children before they go to school, right? We put them into kindergarten, you know, so death has to be prepared. And again, you know, I'm not one of those ancient, I've never really studied lots of those ancient, what do you
Like
call
Freddie Silva? Like the art of resurrection?
No, not so much.
No, not that.
Any
Yeah.
old ancient sort of wisdoms and stuff like that, because that's been going on forever. The people knew how to prepare others for death, right?
Yeah.
The funerary rites, yes.
Yeah, and
Last rites, yeah.
and the way you prepare them, even physically, you balm them in and you make them, you know, you dress them up, whatever you do, that kind of thing, you know. So all of that.
You mentioned, you know, what is the plan, you know, in the next 5, you know, the business plan, the loyalty business plan for the next 5 years.
I like it. Loyalty business plan. I love it.
I didn't have it on my slate for the next 5 years, but I have it on my bucket list of becoming an death
Doula. Yeah, they are such things. Yeah.
It came up somehow, somewhere out of the really blue years ago. Somebody was asking me, like, what would you do next, you know, if you're not working? I'm like, I would like to help people die. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
I have a strong sense of that.
and I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
I think I want to do that.
Yes. Yes.
Wow,
You
that's come up before for me too. The death doula, doing the class to take it. Yeah. Now you're saying it again. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. I did
Maybe-
hospice.
maybe we can, you know, play with that and then put
Yeah.
it together and do a workshop or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think.
Yeah. First we help
we
them
can
live,
find
but then we have to fucking die. That's hilarious, actually, isn't
What?
it? Okay, now you've learned
I-
how to get the hell out of here. I'll show you how.
Yeah.
What did you want to
That's-
say, Sandrine?
No, I actually think that on that website, one of these persons is actually offering online trainings,
Mm.
but it's the serious business. But I don't know if there is also something more light. I haven't checked it out yet, but I'm just following a little bit from afar.
Yeah. And you know, I think, you know, I mean, in my life, I had a few, it's always been presented to me, you know, so I was put in a situation. Obviously, I put myself without knowing this. And, you know, was it now a pigeon die in my garden, you know, with 2 cats in the house, which is rather weird, you know. 3 years later, there was another pigeon dying. And the tears I've cried by sitting next to the pigeon dying and being an allowance without running to the bloody vet with it, you know, and just sitting there knowing that it's time. Even my cat, you know, I never took the cat to the vet. It was like, no, don't, are you joking? I want you just to be with me here. and having the guts to sit with the cat, you know, and of course she wasn't in agony, but it was just the most beautiful experience. And now it sounds a bit weird, but that again shows who our understanding of our multidimensionality. We have it, even if we can't have the words for it at times, or we don't have the certificate that we are multidimensional beings, right? On the wall, I'm a multidimensional being certified by who, right?
By us. I think
By
we should
us,
come up with
yeah.
a webinar. Come on. This, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there is the spaghetti, the ones that you can get, you know, the what? You can be the priesthood of the
Oh,
Holy
yeah,
Spirit,
yeah.
ramen noodle, whatever.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Could be a reverend.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see, this is what we need to look into. And once we start going to those community centers, these new healing centers, then we come in with some slightly different kind of ideas. You know, the old healing, blah, blah, that's something, you know, they can do by themselves now, right? You see a light, yeah, okay, this is it. Yeah, but let's do something slightly different, out of the box, because we are slightly out of the box, right? So we can combine that a little bit and bring some ideas in. And also, I mean, look, we are visionaries, you know, we are thinking slightly ahead of the game. You know, if we're already thinking how to help people dying, you know, and I think this is something that should be taught to children from a very young age onwards, to be honest.
Yeah. Yep.
But then again, you know, that's education system needs to be completely redone. So there is so much work to do, guys, and so little time to do in this lifetime. But that's a good thing, because we have many, many more if we so want. And even if we move on from here, we can still, you know, orchestrate and navigate, you know, and show our loyalty from the other side and everything. And just having that sense of relaxation, I think Lana said relaxation, or, you know,
Yeah.
you said, Amy, that kind of, yeah, it's okay. You know, it's okay. This life is like
Yeah.
this. It's fine. Make
Yeah.
the most of it, right? Make the most of it. And then, you know, what we're going to do with, and of course, the understanding that we don't have to come back here. But then again, the I am avatar understanding is super, super important, because you don't have to come here, just like we are here now as our I am avatars, but afterwards we can just send a shard, a group Müller shard down to the earth, you know, but we're doing it with more consciousness. We're doing it conscious. And there's another thing before we're going to close today, from my side, what I want to say, you're never unconscious, never unconscious. You cannot be unconscious as
I
long
agree.
as space and time. You're always conscious.
Yep.
Maybe a bit less sometimes, maybe a bit more aware other times, but you're always conscious. I'm going to close it on that note.
Yeah. Thank you.
What do you guys want to say? One more something before?
I'm loyal to Earth Nouveau. It's just random, but you know, I always come back no matter whatever bullshit or
You do.
shenanigans I'm getting into. I
Fantastic.
show up, you know. I'll just say that, you know.
Aw,
You're gonna get the sticker.
Yeah, he gets the sticker.
because we are loyal to the cause. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
admire you, Valentine.
Say this again.
Yeah.
What did I
Romania.
I didn't understand what you were saying.
She's on mute if she's talking.
Oh, and so and I said that I admire Alfredo.
Oh.
Encourage to come back.
Yes. Courage to come back.
Oh my
It's,
God.
it's the connection with y'all, because like I've been dabbling in different areas and getting around different people, but something close to my heart always brings me back, you know, because
Fabulous.
the connection with y'all. It's just plain and simple loyalty to the connection, you know.
Loyalty to the connection.
Yeah.
Whoa, so good.
I just
Yeah.
simple to say that.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Yes, we're loyal to Art Nouveau, aren't we?
Fabulous.
Yeah.
I have to check myself about that one.
Armenia.
Bye-bye.
But thanks for being here, and I'll see you next week. I'll be still in Austria, so I'll be still here.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Later, y'all.
Bye.